Hi, everyone. It's Carolyn, and I'm here today to share another channeled message, but this time it's different. And I have my friend Celeste Ryan here today. What we decided to do was each do a channel for the year 2019. And hopefully you're getting this in the middle of December. That is our plan, so that you can think about it as you move into the new year. So with that, what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce Celeste, then she's going to read her channel, kind of like I do with mine, and then we're going to talk about it together, though, and kind of do some back and forth. And then I'm going to read my channel, and we're going to do the same thing, some back and forth, and leave you with our thoughts. And then, as always, you can take it away for yourself. So again, as you know, my channels are typically for those who are awakening, and yet at the same time, this is really also about anyone going through this life journey, and particularly since it's for 2019. So, hi, Celeste.
Hi, Carolyn. It's so lovely to see your face.
I know. And just for everybody else's purpose, we talk on the phone all the time, but we have never actually been on video together before. So we've never seen each other live. And so anyway, it's kind of funny to be doing this for the first time. So anyway, with that, Celeste, do you want to tell everybody who's watching today a little bit about yourself? Because they've not met you before and they're somewhat familiar with me, so I don't need to go through that again.
Okay, of course. So I'm Celeste Ryan. I'm a mental health therapist, an intuitive empath, and a channel and an artist. And I am fairly new to the channeling process. However, just like many of you, I've woken up in the last couple of years and I have figured out that I'm a liaison for multiple beings who want to channel through me. And so I've been talking about the topic of channeling with Carolyn for a while. And when she suggested this idea of channeling a message in regards to 2019, I thought, how perfect would that be? And so here I am.
Thank you. I'm so glad we're doing this. This will be fun. And our intent, just moving forward, is to try to do more of these together because we think it's fun. And we both are going through the awakening journey, just like all of you are. And I think we have a lot to share. And when you come together with another person, there's so much more that can come out, particularly when you're at that vibration. And I think we've noticed that when we talk, and I'm getting chills right now talking about this, so much more comes to the surface to actually have conversation about. So we hope to do more of these, and we hope you'll join us as we post more videos. So I guess unless, Celeste, you have anything else you want to say, I want to thank you for joining me, first of all. And you want to just get started reading your channel, and then we'll go ahead and we'll just talk about it.
Yeah, that's a great plan. Okay,
cool.
Bear with me. I have to put on my glasses.
No, that's why I have these little lovelies.
Okay, so here is my channeled message for 2019. Greetings. As you move through the 11-11-11 Stargate, more light hit the planet than ever before. What does this mean for the human collective? We say don't be surprised at the many changes that will become more evident in your coming year, 2019. It will appear as if there's even more of a division at first glance. However, things are not as they appear, for on the ground level, unity consciousness is steadily gaining momentum. More and more people will come together because of their shared desire for positive change. These changes desired are on many levels. They involve changing how the human collective interacts with each other, how the human collective interacts with the animal kingdom, and how the human collective interacts with nature. Even those of you may consider as being asleep have been impacted by the intense light that has come in recently, making them more aware of things they've never been aware of before. Do not dismiss this group, for they too are on an ascension path. So we say more of you will become aware of how you have been manipulated by the few to keep all of you in shackles. Because of this awareness, it will allow more people who would never consider connecting with each other to do just that. And this is where powerful change will occur. As you continue to witness your beloved planet, Gaia will also be shifting, adjusting, and ascending. This means that it will appear as if there is more upheaval with the weather, with the earth, and with the oceans. Expect more extremes with climate and with natural disasters. It will appear worse than even your current year. We remind you to remember to step back and take a more objective perspective. All is in divine order. So observe this process and help where you can. In your year 2019, there will be more of the human collective waking up to who they really are. Some will, of course, struggle with fear as long-buried feelings come to the surface to be processed and released. Some will decide to make radical changes in their lives, almost as if a switch has been flipped. More people will embrace their uniqueness and allow it expression, which will begin to normalize uniqueness. This will create a new paradigm where uniqueness is valued instead of scorned. Again, a grassroots effort. Your social media will and has been playing a role in all of these light-filled grassroots efforts and will continue to do so. Also, more of the human collective will start waking up because of the many more natural disasters, allowing them to connect to and with their higher self-awareness, bringing them through their true calling and gifts, or bringing through their true calling and gifts. There will be many more heroes and sheroes, and the focus will turn to these types of stories more than ever before. The coming year will appear to have the drama of highs and lows. We say now more than ever is the time to go within, connect with your inner wisdom, and practice self-care. And remember, you are here to experience the experiences of ascension by choice. So have fun, create joy, and be kind to each other. In love and gratitude, the Starfleet Commander.
That's so cool. So I noticed, just kind of get this conversation started, not that we have any trouble doing that,
nope.
But I love the sheroes. I mean, that's like a whole new word, right? Heroes and sheroes, recognizing the female side of things too. Isn't that kind of cool? That was neat.
It is cool. I love that part.
Exactly.
And
so,
it was very unexpected.
Well, that's the thing about these channels is you don't know what, like we went into this just saying 2019, that's our topic. And we didn't do anything else, didn't set any other stage.
Right.
And this is what comes through, which is really interesting. So let's talk about your channel a bit. And because I certainly could talk all day about these things. So you start if you want.
Okay.
Well, what I do, we just kind of given our interpretation and learning and understanding from it. So
yeah. What I really gained from this channeled message is that things will appear a certain way, but not to get sucked into that negative perspective. Mm-hmm. So things are going to be changing. There will be more upheaval. There will be changes to the earth, and things will look very dire. But if you remember to step back and take more of an observer role, then I think, and maintaining your connection to higher self, to your inner wisdom, and really focusing on self-care will allow you not to get sucked into that negative perspective and those negative energies that we tend to be followed by.
And if I could just add something to that, which is something I thought of as you were talking about this, is as these difficult times happen, be it an earthquake or whatever it is, right? We can get so sucked into the media side of this where they repeat things over and over and over. And we feel oftentimes, particularly when we haven't actually started going through awakening and feeling this, that we need to, that it's our job to focus on that like a laser, and that we're helping by some way by watching all this on TV, when in reality, all it's doing is continually giving you that same kind of energy. And yes, we want to have empathy for people and what's going on, and yet at the same time, continuing to watch that over and over drives our fear, creates more fear in us, and doesn't allow us to be the light that we are designed to be as we go through this awakening. Yeah. So I think when these events happen, something that I have found really useful for me is I still kind of want to know, but I don't delve into it 24/7 like I used to, where I would feel like that's all I think about. That is all I would think about, because we're empathic people, right?
Right.
We want to try to help, but you can't do that. And that's not an ostrich sticking your head in the sand. And I just want to make that point, because it's about what is healthy for you, and also knowing your mission moving forward, that it is an energetic situation and you want to keep yourself out of that fear mode. And by avoiding the continual repeat that happens with any tragedy,
Mm-hmm.
you're assisting yourself in that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the paradigm is, especially with the media, is where they bombard us, which is very traumatizing. And that's where the self-care becomes more important than ever, especially for those of us who are on the awakening journey. We really need to take that time to meditate and go into that space where we connect to higher self, where we have, no mind, where we're not focused on this negative paradigm that has been kind of the norm forever.
Exactly. And I think, excuse me, also, as we're going through awakening, we become more sensitive to these things. Yes. They affect us more deeply. And a lot of you already feel that out there. And if you don't now, I can near guarantee you will, because that's what it's about. It's about us feeling more deeply these connections. And so we have to be very wise about how much of that we take in. And yet I know, like I've said, at the same time, you also want to still be a part of humanity. So it's a really delicate balance I have found for myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the reasons I gave up my TV 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not want to be bombarded all the time. Yes, I'm on social media. And yes, I have access to that information because it pops up just like on a TV. But I don't have to, I can bypass it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's exactly right. And, oh gosh, I just had a train of thought that I was going to cover. There's something in your piece here that talks about, because our audience here primarily is people who are awakening. But these messages, as I've said always with my channels, they're for everybody, because there's a grain of truth in there that everybody is awakening. Like I'm going to look at your channel here. It says, even those of you may consider as being asleep have been impacted. It says, do not dismiss this group, because I've always felt we're all here to start this awakening process. And some of us may seem like we're so asleep, but we still have that beautiful soul inside of us. It's, knocking at the door going, hello, hello. So, yes. And even this energetic, because there's energy in these words. Mm-hmm. These energetic words can actually have an impact on somebody who's just starting to maybe feel something. You never know what's going to help people burst forth, right?
Right.
So I thought that was neat about this channel, that it really is very inclusive.
Yeah. And that we need to be careful not to judge.
Should I go ahead? I got a few other things I was going to mention.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So let me look here. Okay. I thought this was interesting. What your channel talks about here is that Gaia will be shifting, adjusting, and ascending, and all those changes that come with the weather, the earth. And when you read that, I thought, oh, wow, it's the same thing that's happening to us. We're all live, conscious beings, earth, people, creatures. We're all going through these shifts, eruptions. Like, I'm going to just use this as kind of a funny example. Skin eruptions during the awakening. A lot of people have that. I have that. Weird bodily things. It's like we're our own earth. Like earth is doing the same thing. Like getting out the crud.
Yes.
You cleanse and clear that out. And that's what we're doing. And we're adjusting to those new energies. But I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think that it really ties in nicely the fact that we are the children of Gaia.
Exactly. Well, and there you go. What you just said, the children of Gaia, and therefore aren't we going to kind of have the same symptoms but in our bodily component versus it being earth? I mean, yes, we're erupting too.
Yes. And not just physically either.
Yes.
It's emotionally, it's mentally.
Yes. So I think in talking about this, what I think everyone should know, and probably a lot of people are learning, is this is natural. Mm-hmm. It's a natural part of the process of awakening. Don't fear it. Don't wonder what's going on. You're not going crazy. You're dealing with a lot of hidden emotion, hidden experiences that haven't been dealt with. And and Celeste, we've talked about this. We just talked about this last night. Past lives stuff.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people watching us are going to go, past lives, I don't even have one that I know about. But it can and will happen usually during the awakening journey that you'll start sensing that, yeah, you've been here more than once. And so we bring a lot of that forward. So that's coming to the surface too. So I guess my point in mentioning this is natural. When you're feeling like you're going to fall apart, but you're not. And you just get through that next day and you ask for your spirit team to help you out. And
yeah. And I think that what you just said is key. Asking for our spirit team, our crew to be there, offer their help. That they're there for us, but we hardly ever ask. And because of free will, they won't help unless we ask.
Exactly.
Which we talked about that last night, I think.
Yes, we did. And I think too, another thing that I notice for folks is some of the questions are, well, I don't hear them, I don't see them, and they're not there. No, that's not true. We don't all have hearing and seeing yet as, intuitive gifts. I do believe everybody has the opportunity down the road to open up some of their intuitive gifts in this process. But the thing is, talk to them, even if you don't see or hear them or get some response back, they're there. And it's about building that partnership and that relationship as you move forward in time. And people listening today are probably going, we hear you say that all the time. But I want to repeat that because it is such a critical part of this journey to just know they're there, forget about getting a response, and just know that they're working for you and they want you to build that partnership. And many of you will get knowings and feelings. So,
and sometimes the knowings and feelings come in chills, which you get.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah, exactly. It's all very unique.
It's all just based on your process.
It is.
It's very individualized.
And it's about putting patterns together, like being observant about your own body, I think, and knowing yourself. And, you'll learn along the journey. Let me tell you, if they want you to know something, you will know it.
That's right.
I mean, don't worry about that, folks. I mean, it's coming. So I think in talking about this channel, what we're pulling together so far is there's going to be shifts and changes. We're going to feel them in our body as we've continued to feel. We may feel them more severely, but at the same time, no, you're not crazy. This is all part of the natural process. Call in your team, call in your help. This is all moving forward to help you. Other part we've just already talked about is be aware of when these difficult times happen, of making sure you're not drowning yourself in the news, essentially.
Yes. And self-care.
So, exactly. Did you have anything else to add? Of course I have other stuff.
Well, I think one of the things that really stood out to me is the fact that uniqueness, being who you really are. I love that, because we've been programmed to hide our little weirdness, our weird tendencies, our quirks. That's what makes us who we are.
Completely. And, I have this vision of everybody walking around in just whatever, and it's kind of starting now. Like I live in a very liberal college community with a huge student population of about 30,000. You know what? We're kind of there already. Like everybody's walking around looking so different and like they literally came from another planet. And it's like, it's so awesome because they're expressing their uniqueness and they don't care what anybody else thinks. And they're, they're doing their thing. And I feel like, I have super chills as I'm talking about this. That's more of what we're going to experience across mainstream society. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. That is going to become the new normal, is that everyone is going to test out their wings as to how they want to present themselves, what resonates with them, so that they can bring more or embody more of who they really are into their 3D self.
So well put. Exactly. And what I've said before too is there's no recipe to be who you're supposed to be. You just pick what you think resonates with you, and you just let yourself be it. I mean, like a really small example of myself is when I started doing these videos back in, I started recording my first ones in January. I thought, okay, I need to be a certain way. Because I'd never seen myself on video before. And that was just appalling at first. And I was like, no, I need to be very proper, very, and then I realized, wow, those were really boring videos. Not to mention, I can't do that. That's not me. I just have to be me, which is, sometimes serious and yet goofy and kind of make mistakes. But that's our authentic self. Who wants some manufactured version of us talking to them, right? I mean, but I really feel that's really going to become more common as we move forward, that those walls will come down of what, we've been taught to be like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's time. It is.
Wow, we're going to go on and on here. I can tell this is going to be a long video. So stick with us, everyone, because we're going to get to my channel pretty soon.
That's right.
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look at this. So, we talked about the uniqueness. That's what I want. Okay, talking about social media. It mentions social media. So I want to make a comment about this. I was thinking about this the other day. Everything I do and you're doing, it has to do with social media to be able to reach the people we need, because we know we have the worldwide audience of light workers and people awakening. Well, there's a whole lot of the other flip side of that where a lot of people are like, ooh, social media. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was on that bandwagon, and I think it's all about how you use it. I mean, I literally never was on Facebook. I have a page, but I had it for a different reason, wasn't on it. And now with my work, of course I'm using social media. Mm-hmm. But it's all in how you choose to use it.
Absolutely.
Because there's that, that duality of everything, that yin and yang, or that, because you can use it and get totally sucked in or see the, I would say, you want to say negative side of it, mm-hmm. but it's what's connecting all of us worldwide. Without this, where would we be?
Right. This has given us a format to connect with each other. And just a little blurb about myself, back in 2013 is when I really started going through this spiritual awakening. And at that point, I went to a training, I met all these wonderful people, and we connected via Facebook. And a lot of those folks became my dearest friends. They were soul family. That's why we connected. They were meant to come into my life. Some of them I've never met in person. And yet I talk to them on the phone often. We share this process with each other. So even though sometimes social media can go the negative way, the dark way, so to speak, it's not always the case. Mm-mm. Right? This is the format for a lot of those grassroots efforts that are happening, right? This is giving people a voice that have never had a voice. Yeah. This is bringing things to the forefront that have never been brought to the forefront to the average everyday person. It's bringing attention to things that they might never have been exposed to before. And right. I think in that case, social media has definitely been a blessing in this spiritual awakening process.
Absolutely. I think it was all set up, and we could have a whole conversation about that too, because without it, we would not be connected. If we still had the phones on the wall, do you think we'd be doing this? It just doesn't work.
That's right. It doesn't.
All in divine timing, like we've always said. So Anyway, so anything else as part of your channel? I know we did a little summary kind of on some of this, so.
I really liked how he ended that, really connecting to self, really going within, self-care, being kind to each other, remembering that we're all in this together. Even those folks who we think are not really awakened, they're still awakening. Yes. Just because they're a little bit further down the mountain than we are does not mean that they aren't valuable, right? That their experiences aren't valuable either. It's that
we're not better than them.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not on a pedestal, so we got to remember that,
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and this is the part I'm glad we kept going because I wanted to say something that I was talking to Celeste about last night, because of course she reads her channel to me before we decided to do the video. And I'm like, oh, the Starfleet commander. Who is the Starfleet commander? And all of a sudden, I got this vision, and I said, oh, Celeste, I think he's blonde. And by the way, I think he's a Pleiadian. And oh my God, he's really good looking. And I said, does that sound even right? Oh gosh, I have chills right now talking about this. And I mean, talk about cracking up. We thought it was the funniest thing, because I'm like, because she gets names like, it's just amazing. Starfleet commander. I said, I wanted to know, who's the Starfleet commander? Oh, well, I said, Celeste, you need to be connecting with him more often.
I know. When we had this conversation last night, I was laughing because I didn't even think about it. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but when he came through with this message, I reached out to you and I said, hey, what are you getting on the Starfleet commander? Because I've never connected with him before. And I wanted some confirmation from you. And you said, yep, he exists.
Yeah. And then to think last night, all of a sudden I see him and I'm like, am I just making this stuff up? And then we checked, just so you guys know, we rarely use our pendulums for anything. And I said, you know what? This is a pendulum one. Let's check this out. And lo and behold, yep, came back. That's who she's talking to. So anyway, I just had to add that because I think it's funny.
And then, but I also want to say, Carolyn, is that when you were able to see him, when you identified Pleiadian blonde, then I was able to see him.
Yeah, that's interesting. And again, we could go on and on about this, but that's what happens when you interact with another person who's going through this awakening. That's higher vibration, and all of a sudden you get more stuff. So I would encourage all of you out there to find your tribe, pick a person, and start talking to them. This is what Celeste and I have done. We didn't know each other. We still have never met in person. And so it's really a cool thing to start reaching out to others and have these experiences. And you're going to find that oftentimes these folks are part of your soul tribe. So
yeah.
Anyway, a whole nother video, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to get to mine if that sounds okay to you.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to pull up my document. All right. And as many of you know, I channel the LightKeepers. So I asked them about 2019. So you're going to get it very different than what Celeste was, which is more rhyming and poemy-like. So here we go. 2019 is the time, we say, that will enter in your way, feeling the energy of it true. More than anything, it is coming to you. At times so ripe for change, you see at your doorstep that you will be walking out and taking one. A step too far, it will feel like to some, and others, yes, oh, it will be moving forward fast. And as we say, it is so true. It is a time for each of you to come into your own at a pace for you and not what anyone else tells you to do. For this is the time when all become the uniqueness of this incarnation. There is no one that can say who you are going to be today. For this is the year that, yes, we say, you who have come on this journey of light today, know that you are moving forward. You too will see that in your way, this is the year of humankind to come into their knowing to be. Little steps, oh yes, it may be. And you will wonder what it is you see. And then something will come in your way, and you will start finding your uniqueness to be. For it is not about becoming someone that you are not. This has been a time that has been so true, where others try to be like someone else. They are not, too. And yet we say, this year it is all a time for each to begin to find their way across time and space and know yourself, oh yes, with a pace. The creative mark you put on your place of this lifetime that you have come to face. Joy and laughter, oh yes, we say, climbing the mountain of this journey today. Coming into your own in your time, feeling great passion inside, and knowing where the step takes you to, but not from the human mind, it is true, but instead from the deepness within of the great passion that you have to begin. Do not let it be set aside. Feel it and move forward a bit at a time. Some of you will take incredible strides, and so quickly that you will find that you are surprised where you are by the time 2019 closes its door. But know that in the beginning, oh yes, we say, the energy is sitting there in your way for you to enter, in time. But it is about faith in yourself and taking little steps at a time. This is the year for all to be coming into their own, and not an example to see of who someone else is in time, and the recipe that is made for you instead is your own. For when one takes himself so true and builds from the inner greater you, it is this that the strength is made in all of humankind today. You will feel it in your soul, for you are coming into your own and not turning into someone else. This is the year of uniqueness of all else, a bright time for you to set aside all expectations of others you find, breaking out into your own, flying and soaring, oh yes, alone, encountering others you will, and learning from others, oh yes, still. But it is that we say, it will be yours to see how your great creations in your soaring will be above the skies, and yes, so true, for you are becoming all you came to be, the uniqueness of you. In light and love, we leave you this day, the LightKeepers. So there you go. This is interesting because as I was reading it, I started thinking, wow, that really had a lot of threads that yours had.
Yes, I know. I was thinking the same thing. I thought, wow, being in your true self.
Exactly. And I don't want to hold this up.
Your unique self.
Totally. They talk about that and not following someone else's recipe.
Yes.
And coming into your own. And because to the point you made earlier, Celeste, oh my gosh, I just think about being a young person. And I'm thinking teenager, college. We so want to please others or be like them. We pick people that we think we need to model after. And yes, it's kind of how we learn too, but we don't need to become them. And I think this is what this year's about, breaking out. Mm-hmm. And you don't overcome that. That kind of carries on through your life. And you're always looking for someone to approve what you're doing. And that's not what this is about.
Exactly. That's right. The encouragement is really go within, figure out who you really are, and then embody that.
Yes. And the other thing I got out of this is the other thing we do to ourselves in humankind, in this human experience, is we hurry so fast with things. We think anything great you must get done now and move forward so fast. Well, I'm telling you right now, this process is of slow beauty. It's of patience. It's teaching patience to us as humans, that all good and beautiful change comes in the moment, and breathing and stepping back and not forcing and rushing things through. And this is what they talk about. Little bits of steps at a time. And at the same time, sometimes you're going to feel like you're flying forward fast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that, and I talk to my clients about this as well, that it will feel like you took 4 steps forward and 3 steps back sometimes. Yes. But that's just the process. I mean, there's a certain ebb and flow that's involved.
Exactly.
Right? So being okay with that. And I think when you bring it back into the present moment and focus on the present moment and not focus on, oh gosh, how far am I? And why am I, doing the comparison thing? We don't want to do that, because it's all individualized. This is all about your journey, your spiritual awakening journey. It's little steps. And don't forget that we need to integrate some of what we're learning about ourselves, about our place in the world, all of that. It's a process.
It is. And something also that I want to mention with respect to that is a lot of people get frustrated when all of a sudden they're not connecting anymore. They have periods of time where there's just quietness. They feel very 3D. They're coming out. Well, guess what? I've had it too. And I know you, Celeste, you've had it too. Yes. That's supposed to happen because to your point about integration, we're still in this human body. We still have to have our human experiences. I even had a situation where I really wasn't experiencing anything for a couple weeks, but guess what? It's because I didn't have any balance in my life. So guess what they did? My crew is like, we're going to kind of shut you down now because you're doing too much of this. You're not going out and having fun with your friends. You're not doing the I mean, I have a balance. And so for me, balance is a huge lesson. And that's important for everyone because we are here for that human experience. Don't expect always that this is going to be, you're going to be highly connected and that you're going to lose your connection, because that's not going to happen. You're going through awakening. That is not going to happen. You're going to just have these, like you said, ebbs and flows.
Right, right. And then don't forget about patience.
Duh.
If your challenge is being more in balance, mine is patience, because I'm always like, just get me there. I just want to be there.
I have that one too.
The goods.
I have that one too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so sometimes it feels, it's so disconcerting when I feel like I've made all this progress and then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like it anymore. And I think, why? Okay, so why did I just become really irritable?
Yes.
Because I haven't been for a long time, and now I'm feeling irritable, and I'm feeling more of that 3D personality self kind of coming through again. And I really have to remember that those are the times that I go and meditate even more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's important.
That just quiet and doing the self-care, listening to music or watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something
yes.
like that. And just allow.
That's right. Know that it's all supposed to happen the way it's happening. Don't fight it. Don't get upset. Don't bring that energy into a space that's just making you feel worse, right?
Right.
Enjoy that time. Go take a salt bath or go take some nature walks or go take a little vacation or whatever. But yes, exactly. Because that's a natural part of the process. But Celeste and I are not, by no means have this mastered, which is why we're sharing a lot of this, because we've gone through the same things and we still are working on the same things. Like patience for me, oh my Lord, the very beginning of my awakening, patience was a big message for me. I still have that issue, although I've gotten so much better, but it's a constant journey for us to, I don't want to say to overcome those things, to really be able to manage it properly, I guess I would say, in a way that works for you individually.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else on my channel? I will say.
So, hold on one moment. I definitely loved what they said about being unique, of course. I like what they said about building from the inner greater you. Mm-hmm. Right? So embodying that higher self, embodying who you really are into this 3D personality self.
Exactly.
Oh, setting aside all expectations of others.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes. That's creating that uniqueness out of who we are, not stuffing it down anymore because Susie Q down the road said it wasn't supposed to be that way, or that you're supposed to, behave a certain way, so yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is such an individual process.
It is.
It just is. And we need to remember that and not go into the comparison space. But I see so many similarities between your channeled message and my channeled message.
I know. And it just, in fact, what we did is we just, like I think I said earlier, we just said, okay, let's just do a 2019 channel. And we didn't see each other's channels really till last night, really.
That's right.
And we're like, oh my gosh, this is fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some real themes here. And I think as part of closing this out, I guess to me, overarching theme is you're going to be yourself. You're going to have opportunity to really be yourself in 2019. Take advantage of that. And to me, and then the secondary part of that, like if I had to pick two things that really stood out, is we're going to have things happen in the world that are going to shake us and test us, and we cannot succumb to fear. So it's all about how do you balance that kind of information coming your way. And we all have a different place we can find that balance, but it's real important because we're more sensitive as we move forward in the awakening. So keep that in mind and start thinking about that as you move forward in your journey in 2019.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So with that, I just want to say I'm going to include Celeste's information because she and I do similar work, but it's also, we do different work. So it's kind of fun. I will include her information as I always do with mine as well. And in the future, oh, I have chills. I think we're supposed to do more of these because I have chills. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this channel message. It's just something a little different. And we're hoping maybe we'll do more of these in the future. So with that, Celeste, would you like to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, goodbye, everybody. It was wonderful to share my channeled message with you, and I personally am looking forward to having more conversations with you, Carolyn, because you know us, there's nothing that we can't talk about.
Oh, yes, we go for hours, but we won't do that to you guys. We'll try to answer. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us today, and we will see you in the next video.